Welcome back into Climbing the Summit podcast, where the ultimate summit is self-discovery, self-realization. I'm your host, Danny Cobbin, lead explorer. And today on Climbing the Summit, we're going to talk about getting to your destination, getting to your goal, finding ways to make the thing that you want to come alive actually come alive. It's almost as if oftentimes we're under construction, our lives are under construction. What we're doing is, in a sense, under construction. And we're apologizing to people for our imperfections, our not being able to see further than where we are. And all this started coming about because I was climbing the summit. Mount Huron with a few friends. We got to the trail at 3 a.m. We hiked that thing pretty quick, and I had a great time. I made it to the top. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was amazing to make it with 3 other people. My yoga buddies, Brandon, Josh, and Brandon's cousin came out with us as well. It was really cool. And what was interesting was I was actually the worst one of the group. And I mean significantly the worst of the group. And because of that, I started thinking about failure and what it means to actually climb towards your personal summit, how to get good at getting good, how to look at a learning curve, how to look at the challenges of life when you actually want to get good at that thing. I want to get good at hiking. I want to be mentally, physically strong. And the first thing I have to do in order to do that is I have to give up the thought that where I am currently is a hindrance. Right. So I'm on the trail, I'm walking up, I'm struggling, and I'm recognizing that this is where I am. And it sucks. But I can do something about that. I won't be any worse than I am right now if I begin to start doing the construction, start doing the work. And this climb towards the summit, it's a metaphor for life. And I know that, yes, I'm saying I got to the mountain, which is a great metaphor for life in the first place. We get on it, we start climbing. It's raining, it's beautiful. We actually can't see anything for the first 2 hours, which is fine because we're just walking up, which is it's a little bit of a struggle. I was somewhere and somebody said, "Oh yeah, climbing 14 is a real type 2 fun," and I was like, "What is that? Type 2 fun?" It's like when you get back to the car and you look back on your journey, you're like, "Oh, that was amazing," because of all the things that you get a chance to learn about yourself. And in life, it's the same. It links so perfectly that you're gonna encounter challenges. Something's going to get you to the top, and it's not motivation. It's something else. I had a friend, Jason. We have him on all the time, and Jason was like, "Why are you into motivation?" It's like he's like, "You don't need motivation if you already want to do something." I was like, I'm already doing something that I want to do. And it's nice to hear somebody talk about what the journey is like while on the journey. Like, I don't think of the things that I listen to as motivational. I think of the things I listen to as somebody who's describing what life is like, the challenges, the ups, the downs, and what it means to put in hard work and effort every single day towards your goal. See, what's fascinating is you don't know if you put in enough work towards your goal until you're at that thing, whether it's at the top of the mountain, whether it's going after your goal, whether it's achieving a big success at work, that relationship. What's fascinating, what's beautiful is, yeah, I am where I am on this hike, but that being where I am gives me that opportunity to move forward if I want to move forward. Right. So then you have to make the decision. Do I want to move forward with this thing, or do I want to just give this thing up? Do I want to just continue to struggle through this thing? And that's where all the fun and interesting things come up, and how understanding who you are as a person really comes into play. So it's Tuesday morning after the 14er. I went on a hike on Monday because I was thinking to myself, it'd be good to get on a hike, get back out there. I went with somebody. It was amazing. Got to see the sunrise. It was great. So Tuesday, I'm having to go out there by myself, because one of the things that stuck with me on my hike is all the guys saying this is the most people they've ever went with this early in the morning. So a lot of the 14ers that they've went on, they've had to go on alone. And you're not really alone on a 14er, because there's 300-400 other people doing the same thing. But getting out there and doing the thing, they're doing it alone. They're challenging themselves in that laboratory, in the laboratory of climbing mountains, hiking. That's their thing. And if I want that to be my thing, well, then there's a few things I have to do. I'm gonna have to wake up. I'm gonna have to go for hikes. If I want to get good, I could continue to struggle through things. I could continue to be the weak link when we go out there together. I could continue to do that. I may forever be the weak link. Who knows? But what I know is I want to master enough of this game that I understand the mastery of the game, whether that's on the mountain or if that's in life. And so I plan to go out on one of the hard hikes on Tuesday, and I start driving towards the hike, and I basically pull off the road, and I'm like, I don't want to go. And then I'm remembering some of the motivation that I've heard while on hikes, whatever. It's not playing currently, but I hear that voice in my head say, there's nothing that you can do at home to prepare you for what you're trying to do on these mountains. It's just that feeling bubbling up inside. I can't describe how that feeling was tangibly different than any other feeling, but I know you get a sense for that. And that's what's important, is getting that sense for when it's something you actually want to do, and when it's something that voice of reason, that voice of comfort, that voice of I don't want to do it, the bed, whatever it is, starts calling. And I almost didn't go. And it literally took whatever it was inside of me to get back on the road and continue to go out to the mountain. Cause I'm like, oh well, I'm later than I thought I was gonna be, blah 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 blah. All the reasons, right? I could give you all the reasons, but they were there. And I show up and I start hiking the mountain, and I get to the top, and that's when it made sense. That's when it all clicked, it came together, right? Because on the hike up, like, I'm now telling myself things like, okay, let's get to the next rock. And it's beautiful because I was talking to Morgan about looking out at the mountain, and Josh was there with us. We're all eating breakfast. Thanks, Brandon, for cooking that thing up. And what was interesting is Josh actually said, when I get to a certain point, I'm looking at the next rock, and I'm like, that's my rock. I'm gonna get to it before I take a break. And Morgan was like, they say that at work all the time, and I never understood why they said that. Just, that's our rock. And the reason why they say at her job, that's our rock, is we're trying to get to that next goal, that next thing, so that we can move forward. Now, we could take a break once we get there. Beautiful. Let's take that break. But that's the destination we're trying to get to next. It's not up there at the top of the mountain. It's, let's get to this next step. Let's get to this next step. Let's get to this next step. And it's true on the mountain, right? Jason talks about it as breadcrumbs. And I wish I could take a picture of this and do it justice. But there are so many times on the trail where you're walking, and you do not see where you need to go next. And you take the next step and the path is right there. You couldn't see it 2 steps ago. You couldn't see it half a step ago. But once you've taken that step, boom, you see the next turn. You see the next way to go. And that's knowing yourself, knowing that you have to keep going. Like if it's what you want, like if it's truly what you desire wanting, you're not gonna need motivation. It's right. But it's nice to get a little motivation while you're doing that hard thing. I'm breathing hard. I'm pushing myself to the next rock. I'm trying to move as fast as I possibly can move because I know that next time I go out with these guys, because I want to go out with them again, I want to do better. I'm still gonna suck. I'm, I'm still gonna be horrible. But what's interesting is I won't be nervous going into that next level. I won't be nervous going into that next hike. Why? Because I know I'm putting in the work. I know I'm putting in the preparation. I know that I'm doing the things that have to be done in order to be successful moving forward. Climbing the summit, talking about the hike. The same is true for yoga. In my yoga teacher training, I have a project that's due where I'm supposed to tell a story. And in that story, there is a pose called Virabhadrasana pose. Y'all might have heard me talk about it. It's a seated half lotus twist. It's very intense. So I'm talking to Kat, which is one of my yoga teacher trainers, right? Amazing. Actually, she's the yoga coach for the Denver Broncos. It's really cool. And we're talking about this Virabhadrasana pose, and she's like, I'm like, yeah, man, we gotta get the hips nice and warmed up. And she's like, yeah, but also your shoulders, right? And she's like, you gotta figure out a way to get your shoulders open. So for 2-3 weeks, I've been just like trying to, okay, so maybe I should do this bind on this, or I should bind here. And out of nowhere, I was like, let me just ask Google, what's a good pose to open up the shoulders? And Google comes back and is like, put a bind in your forward fold. You know how many times you forward fold in a yoga class? A lot. And if instead of coming here and doing this number or coming here and doing this number, I put my hands behind my back and I just do a forward fold. I realized I could do the same exact yoga sequence I've been like working on vigorously to make better. I can engage. I can put that in there. Now, why, Danny? Why are you bringing this up? I'm bringing it up because once you know yourself, once you recognize where you are, once you see that it takes work. Okay, now it's effortless because it's something that you want to do. It's almost as if that future self is pulling you towards that thing, but like sometimes it's type 2 fun. And what I mean by type 2 fun is it ain't fun while you're doing it. It's fun after you get done. It's fun when you get to the event, you get to the 14er, you get to whatever it is you have to do, and you dominate that thing because you've worked so hard for the last however long it is in order to prepare yourself for that thing. Now, all of my mentors are these like phenomenal Cat. She's like, I go into a class, I can feel and sense the room. I can program for people right there on the spot. Woo, powerful. Michael Neal, I can look at a person and I can see where they are. I can get a vibe for them and I can execute on that. Brittany, she's same thing. Anton, same thing. Jason, same thing. And it's like, okay, why am I not there? Oh, it's because for the last 20, 30, 40 years of your life, you have been stagnant. You haven't pushed yourself. You haven't knocked on the door of your possibility. And you asking yourself to give 100%, it's not going to happen. So I can't expect to go on a 14er every once in a while and not do anything except sit on my couch and be good. Now, there are people out there that can do it. I ain't that guy. The people that can do it. I'm not him. I'm not him. But I can be him if I put in the time, I put in the effort, and I continue to go. I'm reminded of the sutras. I'm reminded of the yoga principles. And one of them is you got to do meditation often, you got to do it vigorously, and you got to do it for a long time. You got to continue doing it. You got to continue knocking at the door. You got to continue to see the space around your thoughts, see the space around your thinking, start to see your levels of consciousness and noticing these things. And when those things begin to happen, you start to see your life in a different way, and you're able to take the learning curve, the hill, the mountain that you're on in order to become more than you are by simply being who you are. It's like this weird contradiction that makes no sense, but somehow it does when you really start to live it. Start to live what? You start to notice who you are. You start to slow down. You start to find the space around your thoughts, find the space around your very being. And when you start to notice that space, you will hear more. Because there's different levels of hearing. Just like there's different levels of seeing. There's seeing and then there's seeing. There's hearing and then there's hearing. And it's all different. But once you get on your mountain, once you start climbing your personal summit, whether that's at your job, that's in your relationship, that's with your significant other, that's with friends, that's with family, that's with whatever it is. See, it's not this. I'm not trying to give you Danny sauce, right? This ain't Danny sauce. This is not me. Like, yes, I went on the climb. Yes, I recognize these things about myself and the way that things work and operate in this divinely chaotic thing we called reality, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, yes. But those things are utilized for you to see that, hey, I am a human being just like you. I suck at the very thing that I want to be great at. But I'm not beating myself up about that. I'm recognizing how beautiful it is to notice that. And beautiful it is to notice how hard work sucks in the moment, but the gratification of being successful at whatever it is you want to do is beautiful. Now, if you want some help finding it effortlessly towards that position, you're not going to get it all today, right? You've been doing the same thing for 10, 20, 30 years. You're not going to get it all right in a week or two. You're not going to get it all right in a month or two, right? Like, we quit as human beings because we don't see the outward success. But how about you start seeing the inward success first? Start to see who you are. Start to realize your true nature, your true essence. And you will see, you will start to see that no, maybe magic ain't real. But being a human is magical because it's got this beauty to it that you don't begin to see until you start climbing your personal summit. You guys keep climbing towards your personal summit. I hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful 4th of July. And I truly hope and pray and all those other good things that you begin to notice who you are in real time. Because my boy Michael Neal posted this the other day, and it's by like Remy or somebody like this. I don't know. I don't got the best memory, I'll be honest with you. But it said the thing that we are missing. Man, look, I feel like I should just pull it up real quick and hit y'all guys with it because it's good stuff. It's on my Instagram right now if y'all want to check it out. It's on my Instagram. Y'all can check it out. So it's by Moogie. See, I was all wrong. It makes no sense to study. It makes no sense to study everything in life and still not know the one who is studying. The climb towards your personal summit isn't about the goal that you're going after. It's not about the 14er. It's not about the view at the top. Yes, the view at the top is beautiful. There was a shadow of a mountain that my homies saw. They sent me a picture of it. Oh, gorgeous, but they saw it in real time. So I have to assume it was even more gorgeous. But I missed that because I was so in my own world trying to get up there. They was able to already enjoy it. Right. So I miss the shadow of the shadow. But that's the thing. It's not about the mountaintop. It's about finding out who you are. And if you start to notice who you are on your journey towards your personal summit, you can start noticing you're already winning. You guys have a good day. I love you guys. I could keep going, but that's it. That's it. Come alive to yourself. Learn who you are. Notice where you are in real time. Stop beating yourself up about it and enjoy your life. Super simple.